In capital news tonight, Zanzibar receives first batch of COVID-19 vaccines. Tanzania Fisheries Research Institute releases report on dead fish along the shores of Dar es Salaam. And in sports, Tanzania Premier League Board clarifies on concerns about First Division teams. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbo. First, the national news. The second Vice President of Zanzibar, Ahmed Suleiman Abdullah, has assured citizens that the government will ensure that vaccines to be used against COVID-19 are safe. The assurance was made with the Minister of Health, Nasser Ahmed Mazrui, as getting vaccinated in front of the press after receiving 100,000 Sinovac vaccines from China, which have been approved by the World Health Organization.
Wasiwe na wasiwasi na bado msimamo wetu wa serikali tutaendelea kuwapatia huduma ya chanjo kwa wale ambao wanahitaji.
People should not fear. We will continue to provide vaccines to those in need, and this is according to the government stand regarding the issue of vaccines. Vaccines brought are the ones that have been approved by the World Health Organization.
Tutachanja wafanyakazi wote wa ndege.
We'll vaccinate all airport workers, tourism workers, citizens with chronic diseases, elderly from the age of 60 and above. After that, we will ensure that all Zanzibaris who are willing to take the vaccine are vaccinated.
Tanzania Fisheries Research Institute TAFIRI has said early investigations indicate that the 164 kilograms of fish found dead along the shores of the Indian Ocean near Ocean Road Hospital in Dar es Salaam yesterday could have died from lack of oxygen caused by heavy winds or after eating harmful algae.
Perhaps there was leakage from an oil tanker ship, but we could not trace that from the investigations made. We even went further to investigate if the fish died from poison or bombs, but all those speculations, nothing has been proved positive. So far, we think it was because of lack of oxygen or harmful algae. If people eat the fish, they may not die, but there are chances of getting diseases because harmful algae is dangerous to human beings.
15 members and leaders of opposition Chadema party who were arrested by police in Mwanza region in the early hours of Wednesday morning while preparing to hold a meeting on a new constitution are expected to appear in court any time after investigations have been completed. This was revealed by the police commander of Mwanza, SACP Ramadhan Ngazi, at a press conference.
Wapo viongozi na wanachama mbalimbali ambao walikamatwa jana wakati wakijaribu kwenda kusanyika pale katika hoteli ya Tourist.
Some leaders and party members of the political party who were planning to have a meeting who were arrested yesterday, including John Justin, 34 years old, a resident of Bukimba. There is nobody, party or institution, who will be favored. We will work according to the rules and regulations.
The spokesperson of the police force, David Misime, has given a statement on why they have arrested the national chairman of Chadema party, Freeman Mbowe.
Napenda ifahamike sasa, mwenyekiti wa Chadema Freeman Mbowe anashikiliwa na jeshi la polisi kutokana na tuhuma zinazomkabili na kula njama ya kufanya vitendo vya kigaidi.
I would like to inform you that the chairman of Chadema party, Freeman Mbowe, is under police custody following allegations of terrorism. He's being accused of killing government leaders. 6 co-accused have been taken to court, and investigations are going on in Mwanza on incidences of breach of peace. If Mr. Mbowe will be found guilty, we will not hesitate to take him to court and his co-accused, who are in custody in Mwanza. The police force is continuing to call on citizens to continue abiding to the country's rules and regulations of maintaining peace and stability.
The resident magistrate court in Arusha has continued to hear testimony from the public's second witness on armed robbery case number 105 of 2021 after facing the former district commissioner of High Lengai Ole Sabaya and his 2 co-accused Sylvester Nyengu and Daniel Gabriel after it was postponed due to Eid al-Adha yesterday. Here's more on the report.
The witness, Norman Jasin, who is one of the helpers at Shahidi store, told the court that on 9th February 2021 at 5 p.m., a group of 6 people entered the shop, and soon after 3 men and a woman who had bought various items the previous day also entered the shop. He said that the leader of the group directed him to call the owner of the shop, Mohammed Saad, and also directed bouncers to beat up those who were in the shop. Continuing to testify, Norman said that later everyone except him and his uncle, Hajrin Saad, were directed to leave the shop, and that the men searched the counter and took various documents and an electronic physical device. According to the witness, the leader of the group then instructed him and Hajrin Saad be taken outside and close the shop before entering an old model VX car, which took them to their house in Bondeni Street, where upon arrival, he was directed to call those in the house to open the gate. He said the gate was not opened, as when he made the call, he told his mother in Arabic not to open it, after which they were taken to the police station to give their statements, before they were released and directed to return the following day. The witness told the court that on 12th February, they opened the shop under the security of the police, where they found goods had been thrown about, and there were streaks of blood, and 2,769,000 shillings was missing. In the court, the witness was able to identify those who had been involved in the incident. In the case, the Republic is represented by 3 attorneys, while the defense is represented by a panel of 6 advocates.
President Samia Suluhu Hassan has met and held talks with former British Prime Minister Tony Blair at State House in Dar es Salaam. In the talks, Tony Blair, who is also the executive chairman of Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, assured President Samia that his organization supports various efforts being taken to bring development to the people of Tanzania. On the fight against COVID-19, Tony Blair said that his organization has put emphasis on testing and distribution of COVID vaccines, and that they can also support Tanzania access manufacturers of the vaccines. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed the National Defense College to come up with sustainable goals that will make it a center of excellence and defense on defense and security issues. Now, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa gave the directive at the 9th graduation of the National Defense College in Kunduchi, Dar es Salaam.
Chuo chetu cha taifa cha ulinzi kimefanikiwa sana kwa kiwango kikubwa katika kutekeleza majukumu yake. Ndani ya kipindi hicho, chuo cha taifa cha ulinzi kimefanikiwa kutoa mafunzo kwa viongozi wa taifa letu.
The National Defense College has done a tremendous job in the country, including training leaders, government officials from different ministries and departments, military officers from within and outside the country. These efforts have made this college a foundation of creating leaders who are ready to protect the interests of the country and adhere to issues of patriotism. The government is aware and proud of contributions made by this college.
We at the NDC are proud of the 40 course members graduating in masters and diplomas in security and strategic studies and NDC prestigious symbol. Though still a small number, these graduates add to a number of notable alumni of the college who have already attended similar courses in security and strategic studies.
The former Region Commissioner of Kilimanjaro, Anna Mugwira, has passed away at Mount Meru Hospital in Arusha region, where she had been receiving treatment. Following her death, President Samia Suluhu Hassan has sent her condolences to the family, relatives and friends, and said she has received the news on the death of Anna Mugwira with great sorrow, and that she will be remembered for her contribution to national development. May her soul rest in peace. Amen. And that is the end of national news. International news follows next after the break.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa,
The show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
Welcome back, and in international news. The Ministry of Health in Kenya on Thursday announced that 801 people tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. From the new cases, 784 Kenyans, while 17 are foreigners, with the youngest a 1-year-old baby and the oldest is 98 years. The surge in COVID cases has led to police operations against those violating lockdown directives.
Hao tunaambia sasa mtu akifuja sheria patana na askari asilaumu serikali.
People should respect curfew measures and restrictions. Going contrary, no one should be blamed for such actions. It is a responsibility of everyone to take care of their own health.
Meanwhile, Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya has visited the multi-agency security training at Boni Forest in Lamu County along the coast, where he said the training will help to increase efficiency of the forces in implementing their duties, particularly along border areas.
Ni kitu muhimu kwa vikosi mbalimbali kuwa zina uwezo kwanza ya kujuana.
Training is important in all forces in establishing contacts and collaboration in responsibilities they fulfill in protecting the country.
Kuwapatia hongera
wale ambao walikuwa mbele yetu wakati ya shifter campaign walifanya kazi yao.
We must learn from good practices done by our leaders. Right now, it is your responsibility of safeguarding this nation.
Lazima tuige huo mfano.
Prison authorities have said South Africa's jailed former President Jacob Zuma has been granted compassionate leave for 1 day to attend the funeral of his younger brother. Here's more on the report.
Zuma was sentenced to 15 months in prison for contempt of court last month after snubbing fraud investigators probing his presidency from 2009 until 2018. He has been jailed at Escort Prison since handing himself over to the authorities on July the 8th. Inmates in South Africa are usually allowed to attend relatives' funerals.
The Union of Nurses in Uganda has urged the government to compensate nurses who have died from COVID-19 for the role they played in attending to those affected by the virus.
Tumepoteza wauguzi zaidi ya 50.
I have lost all 50 nurses and midwives to COVID-19. Their families are left devastated without receiving any support from the government.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next.
In to Business Edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and in business news. The Confederation of Tanzania Industries, CTI, has said the new electronic system being used to deal with employment applications will help to create an enabling labor and investment environment, as well as remove investment obstacles in the country.
Wazaji, wananchi pamoja na watu wengine wote wanaopenda kutumia au kuomba maombi ya vibali vya kazi, basi ninawashauri.
We're calling on workers and all citizens to use this new system of providing working permits. This system is efficient and effective in labor and work sector.
Katika kipengele cha kushughulikia maombi ya vibali vya kazi.
The Minister of Industry and Trade, Professor Kitila Nkumbo, has directed accountants in the country to support government efforts in increasing trade and investment by implementing the National Development Vision.
Kuhakikisha kwamba tunavutia uwekezaji wa nje ili tuvutie mitaji mikubwa.
We must make sure that we attract foreign investors so that we can increase capital and eventually increase national income.
Tolewa kwenye kuvutia uwekezaji wa nje. Sisi wenzetu ambao tunaona huko walipo wanafanya makosa.
Still, there are a lot of mistakes being made by accountants. As members of parliament, we are asking the Accountants Association, what is your input in this?
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly after the break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Tanzania Premier League Board TPLB has answered concerns about first division teams being treated unfairly in relegation and promotion games.
With regard to the next season, on how the winner will be obtained, how teams will be relegated, the country representation, all of this will be subject to the new regulations after we go through the amendments.
The Under-17 Soccer League has continued to catch pace, with coaches using the competition to get senior team players.
Kikubwa kwamba vitu hivi vinakuwa ni uendelezi wa timu za taifa.
This is the continuation of national teams. When they are in their clubs, it is their duty to prepare the youths and make sure the youngsters play and improve, so we can see the development in youth soccer.
Everton winger Richarlison has made history at Tokyo 2020, with the Brazil international becoming the first Premier League player to hit a hat-trick at the Olympic Games. Here's the report.
The Toffees forward has burst out of the blocks with an impressive treble against Germany. Richarlison has etched his name into the record books as a result, with the 24-year-old achieving what no other English top-flight star has managed before him. It took just 30 minutes for Richarlison to achieve his record-setting feat. He broke the deadlock for Brazil against Germany inside 7 minutes before doubling that lead 22 minutes in. On half-hour mark, his hat-trick was completed as the South American nation ran riot against European opposition.
Arsenal have tied down Emil Smith-Rowe to a new long-term contract in a major pre-season boost for Mikel Arteta's side.
Smith-Rowe, who burst onto the first-team scene last season and became one of the top performers for a largely inconsistent side, has also been given the number 10 shirt in further show of confidence in the 20-year-old attacking midfielder's ability. Other clubs had been alerted to Smith-Rowe's potential availability while negotiations with Arsenal continued, and Aston Villa saw bids of around £25 million and £30 million firmly rejected last month. Now they will stand no chance of getting their man, and Smith-Rowe, an academy product who has been with Arsenal since the age of 9, will be integral to his club's attempt at a revival in 2021-22.
And the International Olympic Committee and Tokyo 2020 organizers have performed a U-turn over their stance to stop their social media teams from posting pictures of athletes taking the knee at these Olympic Games.
Guardian revealed they had issued a diktat against showing such images such hours before Team GB's women's first football match against Chile on Wednesday. On the first day of competition, there was not a single shot of an athlete taking a knee on the official Tokyo 2020 live blog, Facebook and Twitter pages or Instagram. That was despite USA and Sweden players as well as those from New Zealand all taking knee in protest against racism. An insider told The Guardian they found the IOC's stance odd given the organization celebrates iconic pictures of protest, including Tommy Smith and John Carlos raising their fists to protest against the unfair treatment of black people in the US at the 1968 Olympics.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbo. Thank you for watching and good night.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.
Chemsha Bongo, Chemsha Bongo, Chemsha Bongo! Ndio, ni Chemsha Bongo. Piga simu sasa nikuulize swali jepesi. Ukipata zako salamu kwa watu watatu. Ukichemka unakutana na yes, mkono wa kipusa. Na sasa kwenye Chemsha Bongo kuna zawadi kibao kama vile simu ya mkononi, gas cooker, blender, rice cooker na nyinginezo nyingi. Zote hizi zipo kwa ajili yako. Kila siku inatoka zawadi moja.
Nimepokea zawadi yangu ya simu kutoka ITV na Radio 1 kupitia kipindi cha Chemsha Bongo kinachoruka kila siku ya Jumamosi saa 2:15 usiku. Nijisikia vizuri sana.
Yale kabisa yaliyopo katika jamii zetu.
Twende kazi sasa. Chemsha Bongo.
Catch Cap Chats, an interactive talk show on various trending issues live on our social media platforms on YouTube Capital TV.